Good morning. I'm Mike Esker, and welcome to This Old Geek. So, with all the madness and uncertainty going on in the world today, I decided I'm going to do things just a little bit differently. I decided that I am going to talk about a wide variety of subjects and other interests of mine. There is more to me than just paper mache and puppets, and I decided that I'm just going to do this now on this channel. So, to start out with, I'm feeling a little nostalgic, so that's why I have this, which I'm sure many of you recognize this as a VCR. Now, VCR, of course, stands for Video Cassette Recorder. It's an electromechanical device that is used to connect to your television so you can view and record movies or TV shows. So, and let's see, do I have a VHS? It plays a VHS, which stands for Video Home System. I believe it started out with a more technical term, but as they become more popular, they changed it to Video Home System, VHS. So this is the VHS. I don't know if you can see that title there, but this is the box. Anybody remember this one? Very obscure. The Last Dinosaur. I remember this from the 70s when I was a kid. Saw it on television for the first time. So anyway, this is a VHS tape. It's got the spools here and it has the tape on it. You can actually open this with this, pushing this little button. Flip that open and there is a magnetic tape which records movies, TV shows. So this is a tape that already had a movie on, which was manufactured and recorded with a movie. And you can also use these you can buy blank tapes so you can record your favorite TV shows or movies off your television. And it goes right inside here. You just shove that in there and it goes inside and lays down and plays the tape. Now, my first VCR, I believe I bought it in either 1981 or 82. I remember because it was like the same year when they finally released the first Star Wars movie, A New Hope, you can call it. I just call it Star Wars. And so they released that on VHS. So I was all excited about that, so I had to go out and, of course, buy me a VCR. So the first one I had was it was made by RCA, which I don't know what that really stands for, and it was what they call a top loader. It was a bit bigger than this. It was probably about out to here and a bit taller, and the compartment that you load the cassette into was right on top, kind of off to the side like this, and it was a door, and you pushed a button and it just slowly lifted. It didn't just pop out at you, it just slowly lifted, and then you would stick the tape in here, push it down, all the way down, and you could play. And it had all kinds of different things on it. I think I paid like $450 at that time for it. And of course, as the technology developed and got more compact and better, the price, and they sold more and more systems, became more competitive, I should say. The price came down quite a bit. This particular one I got for free. My son had called me up one day and said, "Hey, your daughter-in-law and I are walking around in the town where we live, and we saw a VCR and a DVD player sitting outside with a little sign that said free." So, and I'm like, sure, why not? Because I already had VHS tapes, but I didn't have a VCR. But anyway, so they had it, so I went down there and I got this, and it was pretty filthy. I cleaned it up, took the top off, cleaned out the inside, and it plays. It plays great. I mean, it's got auto tracking and all the features work and plays very well, which I couldn't believe. I didn't expect it to play at all. I thought it was going to be just a piece of junk and have all kinds of problems, but it works very well. But it's the, let's see, Samtron, which I never heard of that. I mean, you got that a lot when they became more popular. You had all these companies you never heard of before that uh, would produce things like this. So you see a lot of them. And, you know, a lot of people will ask me, you know, why would you want to watch, you know, VHS on a VCR when you can stream everything on, almost everything, on HD? And I'm like, well, for one thing, it's nostalgic. They become very collectible. The last VCR was manufactured in 2016, I do believe, or the last VCRs, I should say. And I believe the last actual movie that was released, the last movie that was actually released on VHS was back in like 10 years earlier, like in 2006. And I believe it was History of Violence. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, you could leave a comment in there if you know better than me. But anyway, so, but they become very collectible. You can find VCRs on eBay that actually sell in auction or otherwise, and VHS tapes. There are still a lot of titles out there that are very obscure and very rare that it's either hard to find or you just can't find on any other format. I mean, you know, and it's still different than collecting anything else. You know, there's people. You know, well, I also collect record albums, phonograph. They still make phonographs. They don't make these anymore, but they still make. Well, if you don't know what a phonograph is, it's a record player. It plays a record, a vinyl record. Anyway, so you know, it's no different than that. I mean, that's an obsolete technology as well, and also, uh, also, you know, the people who collect the game consoles, you know, those are obsolete too. All that stuff you can, you know, you can digitally download onto your computer, but you know, it's not the same thing as actually having the actual item. You know, it harkens back a time before the digital age, where everything is just, you know, right there, and you know, it just, I don't know. I guess it's a hands-on kind of thing, and it just, like I said, it brings back memories. It's nostalgic, and that's why you do it. And you know, some of the VHS, the rare VHS tapes, they go for quite a bit of money. I mean, I've seen some go for $250 or more on eBay. Actually being bid on and sold for that amount. You know, some of that stuff on eBay, they'll just stick prices on there or whatever, $1,000 for, but it doesn't mean it's selling for that. So I only do auctions. I only go on auctions, and for a VHS, I really don't pay any more than, I'm not going to pay any more than $20 really. I usually look for free shipping. But I also collect Blu-rays. I just stopped doing DVDs. It's either VHS or Blu-ray for me. So you got the, you know, you got the early analog, and then you have the new high definition. So you have the newer, you know, newer technology, and then you have the older technology. The DVDs is kind of like in between that, and you know, I don't care about those. So anyway, did I leave anything out? Oh yeah, I believe the first actual VCR and VHS tape was released by the Japan Victor Company in 1976. They pretty much perfected the VHS, and Japan Victor Company is JVC, which may sound familiar to a lot of you. And there were all kinds of companies that, excuse me, that did that. There's Panasonic, Sony, and of course I mentioned RCA, and then you have obscure ones like this. And then I have a lot of other different ones. Like this is a title. It's kind of rare. I always liked. I don't know if you can see that. It might be a bit of a glare. Fiend Without a Face. And then of course you have your Disney. This case is what you call a clamshell. Opens like a book, closes. They call that a clamshell. And then I also have probably one of the main reasons why I wanted a VCR was because of this. It's probably not in order, but these versions were released in 1996, just before the special editions came out in theaters. And these were supposed to be the last time that you would see the original versions of these movies before they added all this crappy CGI and all that stuff. And these also contain, before the movie, contain the interview with George Lucas by Leonard Maltin. So this is one of the main reasons why I wanted to get another VCR. I used to have a bunch of tapes and all that way back in the day, but I went to DVDs because in the late 90s, because it was a newer technology, so I sold off most of my VHS tapes and my VCR and got a DVD player, and then Blu-rays came out, and now I still had some of these tapes, and I picked up a few over the years. I did sell a lot of them in flea markets. So I only had really like a handful right now, but and I get some every now and then on eBay, which is my go-to place for anything vintage or nostalgic. So I guess that's about all I want to talk about right now. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up, and have a great day, and hopefully I'll see you again.